What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today is the day that we have all been waiting for. The first official Game of Thrones Season 7 trailer has dropped. This is very exciting and I don't want to waste any time, so let's get right into the breakdown. Please comment below if you have anything to add or if I may have missed something. Let me know. But the trailer opens up with Cersei explaining that she has enemies all around her, in the north, in the east, in the west, and in the south, as she is walking into what I believe could be Casterly Rock, but I'll talk more about this later. The next image we see is Grey Worm and the Unsullied standing in formation preparing to battle. This could also be at Casterly Rock as well, or this could also be during the Field of Fire 2.0, which was something I reported on several times. We're going to see more scenes from this later. But during the middle of next season, we will get a battle between the Dothraki, the Unsullied, the Lannisters, and the Tarleys, all in the open field. And at some point, Daenerys is going to show up on her dragons and wreck shop. Next we see the large table map on Dragonstone, the same table map Stannis Baratheon once used, which will now be used and occupied by Daenerys Targaryen. Next we see a ship at sail during the night. This will be the attack on Daenerys' forces, I believe. I think this is going to be when Euron Greyjoy will strike, most likely in the very first episode. I think the season is going to start off with a bang, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you buckle your seatbelts. We know that Theon and Yara took off with some of his best ships, and they met up with Daenerys instead of him, so they're going to have to pay the iron price. Euron is coming, and he doesn't just bring the storm, he is the storm. Then we go back to the table map as Cersei continues her speech about the enemies that are all around her. But then we see someone sharpening their blade, and I'm not quite sure who this is. It does appear to be a man's hands, but I may be wrong about that. The next scene is one we've all been waiting for, and I must say this is a beautifully shot scene, but it is very creepy. It almost gives me like a Sleepy Hollow type of vibe, as Arya travels north all alone in the woods. Now we all know Arya is a badass, but this scene felt extra creepy, as if something bad is about to happen, but we'll see more from this later. Next we see Jaime and Cersei standing on a beautifully painted map, most likely planning their next move, and I feel like this could be at Casterly Rock, but there is a ladder sitting right there which makes me think they could have just renovated the Red Keep, but we will touch more on this part later too. We then see Cersei as she is ending her speech that she has been saying throughout the entire trailer thus far. She says they will defeat them. Cersei is very confident, although she does not have the strongest army, nor does she have many allies at this point. Things are going to be very interesting next season. Next we get a glimpse of the Lannister army marching in formation, and I have to admit they do look badass with those new shields. They are definitely ready for war. You can see the grass under their feet, which leads me to believe that this is going to be during the battle against the Dothraki and the Unsullied as they are marching back from Highgarden. At some point next season, Jaime is going to take the Lannister army south to conquer Highgarden. After he is successful and begins to march back, this is when he's going to be ambushed by the Dothraki and the Unsullied, and eventually Dany's dragons. This episode is about to be off the chains, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see the Dothraki fight in the open field for the first time, and I cannot wait. The next scene is the one we've seen from the previously released photos from HBO, and I told you in that breakdown that this is going to be when Jaime and Cersei meet with Euron Greyjoy. And if you look through the pyre, you can see the man they are talking to is dressed in all black with short hair, which is the new look Euron Greyjoy is going to have next season, so I definitely think this is them meeting with Euron to forge a new alliance. And this is going to be kind of crazy. Cersei and Euron on the same team. I can't wait to see what they're going to have up their sleeve. And just like I said in the photo breakdown, Jaime is not happy to see Euron. We know Jaime hates the Greyjoys, so he's not going to be totally on board with making them as an alliance. But Cersei doesn't have much of a choice right now, so if she wants to put up a fight, she's going to have to. And I think this alliance is going to further split Jaime and Cersei's relationship without a doubt. Next we see Daenerys and company arriving at Dragonstone, and it looks glorious. We did get a glimpse of this scene recently when HBO released their previous photos. I said in the breakdown that this was them looking up at the castle, so it appears that's exactly what was taking place in that photo as suspected. Daenerys Stormborn has made it home. She even puts her hand down into the sand when she arrives at the beach. This is going to be a very cool scene next season. We even see Daenerys sitting on her throne as some Unsullied enter the room. I think I know what's going on here in this scene, which I will explain in a little bit. We then see the Unsullied storming the castle at Casterly Rock. Daenerys is not fucking around, and it's going to be a bloodbath between the Unsullied and Lannister army next season. They will be engaging each other in multiple attacks throughout the season. But then we finally go to Winterfell, where Jon is in the council with Sansa and Brienne, but Jon turns around abruptly. I think someone just walked into the room that demands everyone's attention. This could be him just getting the news that Daenerys and her dragons are in Westeros and they mean business. Or this could be a number of people showing up. It could be the Hound, could be Bran or Arya. It's really hard to say who for sure, but I don't think we're going to get that big Stark reunion just yet. Next is a scene with Littlefinger and Sansa, and he is doing exactly what most of us knew he would do. He's back in her ear trying to further his manipulation. He tells her that her father and brothers are gone, but here she stands. He's going to remind her that she should rule the North. Littlefinger's going to cause some serious problems next season in the North, and I think he's going to try to overthrow Jon. But then we see the gate opening at the wall, and I think this could be one or two things taking place. This could be Bran entering at Castle Black, or this could be Jon and company heading north of the wall to do you-know-what. We're going to see more from this later. Here we see Theon with hot embers flying around in the air. If you remember from the beginning of this trailer, we see a ship sailing at night. This will be when Euron attacks part of Daenerys' fleet. This is Theon most likely freezing up during the battle because we all know he is still a broken man. He is probably shell-shocked as he is witnessing Euron and his men savagely rip apart their Greyjoy fleet. This naval attack is going to be outstanding. And this next scene is a pretty damn important one. We see Melisandre standing on top of the hill overlooking Dragonstone. Melisandre actually did go south, and she is now on Dragonstone as Daenerys and company are walking up. I think Melisandre being with Daenerys could get very interesting next season, especially when Jon shows up to meet with Dany. I'm wondering if Melisandre is going to start telling Daenerys that she's the one. I can't wait to see how this plays out. And I think this next scene is going to be one of the most intense and action-packed scenes that we see next season. If you are one of my subscribers, then you know exactly what's going on right here. This is going to be Jon and several other key characters going north of the wall. This is going to be when they get ambushed by the Night King and his army. This is going to be absolutely insane, and I cannot wait for this to go down. If all the reports are true, and this scene goes down the way as stated, it's going to knock your socks off. We then see Arya once again as she sets up camp as she heads north. I don't know why, but this scene feels very creepy to me, and I'm concerned for Arya right here. I feel like something or someone is going to jump out at her. I hope this is when she sees Nymeria once again. She could also run into the Hound or the Brotherhood here. I think something is definitely going to take place in this scene. I don't think they're just showing us Arya building a campfire here. I think we're going to get some type of reunion right here. Whether it's good or bad, that's still to be determined. And if you noticed when she exhales right here, you can really see her breath. And I know that winter is here, but I hope to God there aren't any White Walkers around. Arya could be in some serious trouble all alone. Now here is the money shot, my friends. This is Jon and his team surrounded on a frozen lake by hundreds, if not thousands of Whites. This is going to be absolutely insane, and I know that some of you don't want to see this scene, but it's happening, folks, and I'm sorry, but personally, I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Next, we see Littlefinger on some creepy shit, and I don't really know what's going on here, but I don't like the look in his eyes. This could be Littlefinger down in the crypts with Jon. Maybe he says something to Jon about his mother or father, which causes Jon to choke him, which we're going to see later in the trailer. Littlefinger might say Ned is not his father, which would piss Jon off, considering he wouldn't know what the hell he's talking about. We then see the Dothraki going apeshit as they are charging into battle. This is going to be when the Dothraki attack the Lannister forces in the open field. And we all know what they say about the Dothraki fighting in the open field. They are absolute savages. Then we get another glimpse of what I think is the naval attack between Euron and a portion of Dany's fleet. This is what Theon was watching earlier in the trailer. Euron is going to rip them apart and then take some hostages. And as all this is going on, we can hear Davos giving his own speech. He is saying it doesn't matter which skeleton sits on the Iron Throne. I think this is going to be Davos talking to Daenerys. If you remember earlier in the trailer when we see Daenerys on her throne and the Unsullied walk in, I think this is probably when Davos and Jon come in. And Davos is going to be the one doing his top-notch negotiating with Daenerys and Tyrion most likely. I think Davos is going to need to help Jon convince Dany that the Iron Throne isn't what's important. The war up north against the Night King is what's important, and I hope Davos' speech works, because we all know Jon could use the help. And I think I could speak for all of us when I say, we can't wait to see the dragons versus the Night King and his army. That's what we've all been waiting for. And next we see the Mountain confronting someone, and it looked like they had long hair like a woman's. This could be the Mountain confronting one of the prisoners, maybe Yara or maybe Alaria. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good. And this next clip is one of my favorite clips from this trailer. It shows the king in the north grabbing that little slimy prick Peter Baelish by his throat. And I can't wait to see this happen. And honestly, I hope we're all wrong, and I hope we get to see Jon be the person that kills Littlefinger. I think that would be fantastic. And Littlefinger must have said something pretty offensive to get Jon to react like this. For some reason, I think it could be a smart-ass remark about his parents. If it's not that, then it's most likely has to do with Sansa, possibly because he dropped her off at the Boltons in the first place. Whatever it is, it's going to be fantastic to see Jon grab this prick by his throat. But then we get another clip of the Unsullied and Lannister armies fighting at Casterly Rock, and it looks like the Unsullied is ripping them right apart. Then we get another scene of Arya, and it looks like she's putting her ear to the ground right here, which I can't figure out why, but it also looks like she is looking under a door, or maybe she's looking under a bed or something like that. Maybe this is her looking for Edmure down in the cells at the Twins, because the very next scene we see an arm reaching out of a cell door. This might be Edmure Tully. I've said in previous videos that I think Arya will free him after she finished killing everyone at the Freys, but this could also be Septa Unella. We know Cersei had her tied down to a table, and she told her she wouldn't die for a very long time. Then she sent the Mountain into the room. She might still be alive, but obviously not in very good shape. And I also said in my previous video that I do think we're going to see Septa Unella again, but it could just be a disgusting mess that we end up seeing. I think this hand is either hers or Edmure's. Next we get another good shot of Jon and Tormund, most likely north of the Wall. I think this has to be them running from the Night King's army, probably right before they get surrounded on that frozen lake. This is going to be so intense, I can't wait to see this scene play out. I'm really looking forward to next season. With less episodes, it's going to be the most action-packed season we've ever seen. I hope you all are as ready as I am. But next, we see Missandei and Grey Worm, and the clothes are coming off, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. Maybe Grey Worm didn't lose his pillar. This could get fun. But the next shot is even funner. We see Yara and Ellaria about to get it on, and I think they better move quickly because Euron is coming, my ladies. Now we know for a fact that the Sand Snakes and Greyjoys are together. This is probably at sea right before Euron strikes. And I wouldn't be surprised if Euron's attack interrupts this lovemaking session. And we also see a body fall in the water with fire shooting out above. I think this could be Theon making his escape during the battle against Euron in one of the very first episodes. If you've been following my channel, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And last but not least, we end with the money shot of all money shots. The Dothraki charging full steam ahead in the open field, with a dragon flying above. Pardon my language, but the Lannister army is fucked. We just got a new photo the other day of Dany on Drogon during the Field of Fire, and this is where that battle is going to be taking place. The Dothraki, Unsullied, and Dany's dragons versus the Lannisters and the Tarleys. It's about to go down. As the trailer fades to black, we get one last line of dialogue from my man Jon Snow, and he says the Great War is here. I think this will probably be at the end of the season when he knows the Night King is or has already breached the wall. That's when the Great War will have officially begun. There will be nothing stopping them then. Comment below and tell me how excited this trailer made you for Season 7. I know my hype level went right through the roof now. This was a fantastic trailer. It seems to confirm a lot of things that some of us already believed, and it also showed a few things that I wasn't expecting and can't wait to see more of. Also, let me know if there was anything I missed that you want to point out to me. I'd love to hear from all of you. Thanks for watching my first breakdown of an official trailer ever. This was so much fun. Thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. I love you all. I'll see you down below. Bye.